Hi everyone, today at our Discord member Rebecca's request, we're gonna go over Einiasuchus. So Einiasuchus is the hybrid of the starter dino Einiasuchus and the globally daily spawning common Nundasuchus. It should be most people's first hybrid they obtain, but a decently strong one too. Once you start entering the arena, you'll see this dino from the start to the top. It's a hard hitter that stuns with decent speed and some armor too. So let's first break down its stats and see how it's created. It has 3,460 HP, which is not a lot honestly, on the lower side of the spectrum, like Nundasuchus, but has that 20% armor pulled from the Einiasuchus side. So when facing non-armor piercing dinos, it has quite a bit more survivability. It has 117 speed, which is a bit faster than Einiasuchus, but slower than Nundasuchus by a lot. It has 1,410 damage, just a bit above Einiasuchus, and a pinch below Nundasuchus. So stats wise, it's basically taking the middle ground of both its ingredients, but with more armor. Its stats are really incredible. It's one of the best balanced dinos in the game, especially for a rare dino that is so easily obtainable. Now on to its moves. It has minimal stunning strike, stunning impact, adrenaline pulse, and ferocious strike. Einiasuchus has an extremely strong turn 2 damage output due to its ferocious strike and stunning impact combo, and its already high attack stat. Also, because Einiasuchus has access to that turn 1 ferocious strikes, 3 out of 4 turns, it will have an extra 50% damage boost, so you can almost basically see its base damage as 2,115, with some exceptions, of course, the biggest one being null. Before we go into matchups, if you're new to the game or haven't created any hybrids yet, and you're wondering which Nunda hybrid you should create, let's go over both their potential damage output and stats first. So Nundasuchus has 3,370 HP, 910 damage, which although doesn't seem like a lot, but that needs to be multiplied by 2 in most cases due to how counter works. So it has no armor, 5% crit, and 108 speed. It has pinning strike, short defense, cleansing impact, ferocious strike, and a passive, which is counter attack. It has amazing turn 3 damage output, but gets hurt by its low survivability, and even with short defense due to its poor speed, it most likely won't get a full powered hit on it before using it. And using short defense means sacrificing a lot of damage for 3 full hits. Its moves are great. It has many top tier moves in its kit but lacks the survivability to utilize it. Einiasuchus on the other hand will most likely pull off that extremely strong turn 2 hit, that boosted stunning impact, which with innate armor, it can take an initial hit pretty well, at least better than Nundasuchus, so for these two hybrids, definitely go for Einiasuchus. Now looking at matchups, one important one is against Stegoceratops. Einiasuchus outspeeds Stegocera with its 117 speed, so it can outspeed at turn 1 and Ferocious Strike, but Stegocera will for sure use Slowing Impact on turn 1, so now you have to make a decision to either Adrenaline and get rid of the slow, or just go for the damage. It is highly likely that Stegocera next turn is going to stun you, so you need Adrenaline Pulse if you want to survive turn 3. This matchup is extremely close. This can go many ways. If Stegocera stuns on turn 2 or turn 3, which is highly likely, Stegocera wins on turn 4. However, if Stegocera does not land any of their stuns, and then the Enya wins out on turn 4. Another way this could go is if Einiasuchus is 1 level higher than Stegocera, then it kills Stegocera on turn 4 even with the stun on turn 2. But also if Stegocera is 1 level higher, then it could kill Einiasuchus on turn 3, regardless of its stun, if it stuns or not. So this is a really interesting matchup. Probably Enya's more important matchups, to be honest, and I'd say it's pretty evenly balanced between these two, and this is why at even levels, Stegoceratops has a very high percentage chance to win. Its chance of not hitting that stun on the first 3 turns are extremely low, but it could still happen. But in the case of an uneven leveled, where the higher level wins, Enya is way more easily accessible than Stegoceratops, although Stegocera is a very easily accessible dino too, which is why I put these two in a very more balanced matchup. Both have a pretty good chance of beating each other, and no one is a clear winner here. Despite the popular consensus that people commonly refer to Einiasuchus as a raptor counter, it actually doesn't do well against them. It loses to Pyro, Blue, Utah, Velociraptor, Charlie, and Delta, all those raptors. Its damage boost here only neutralizes the pounce debuff, which is not enough to kill off a raptor, while the raptor can outspeed turn 2 and finish the Einiasuchus off. People usually take it as a raptor counter mostly because they personally have a high level Einiasuchus against a low level or even hurt raptor. That said, it does better against raptors than most dinos that lose to them, as it does a decent chunk of their health before it goes down. Next up, let's see how they fare against tanks in this game. So let's first pit it against Stegoideus, Nodopato, and Gigaspica. So basically, you should expect them using slowing turn 1 to gain that outspeed on the turn after. If you don't Adrenaline on turn 2, you'll die on turn 3. So after cleansing, you should be going first next round with that incredibly boosted stunning impact. The tank could soften up that hit a bit if they go with short defense instead of armor piercing impact, which most of them should be going for instead. By turn 3, Stegoideus will have you dead, and Nodopato and Gigaspica will kill you on turn 4. So even if you stun on the stunning impact, your damage numbers are still far from killing either one of them, so it's not even close in this matchup. Inya obviously isn't and shouldn't be your go-to tank buster. As high as its turn 2 damage output is, like 80% or 90% damage reduction completely neutralizes that damage. So for Stegoideus, Inya is still like about 1,000 damage away from killing it, assuming it lands the stun. So don't face Inya off with the tank. As we can see, Inya kills a lot of low health and armor dinos, but struggles fighting the more meta-relevant dinos like Stegosera and Stegoideus. But Inya's strongest advantage over them is its availability and ease of leveling up. It's basically the ultimate free-to-play dino, where you can easily overlevel it and have it on the top of your team. So in situations like the Stegosera matchup, it could gain an upper hand. And if you're still in mid or low arenas, it does phenomenally against all the dinos that are used in the earlier arenas due to its like super high turn 2 damage output. So if your Inya is like Rebecca's at a super high level, it could do some serious damage, but when matched against even level dinos that we do see quite a lot like Stegoideus, Stegoceratops, and some raptors, it does struggle to do well. It beats many slower dinos with minimal shields and armor like Rex's, Alosino, but its greatest advantage is still in its availability and ease of access. And again, its stats aren't bad at all, it just has a little deficit in its health and also lacks a kit to kill off the meta-relevant dinos, despite that it hits as hard as a truck. So that's it for today's Einiasuchus guide. Hope it helped you to some degree. As you see a lot of people running this dino, it used to be like my little secret weapon like back in the day, but I guess the secret is out now that it put it so high on the tier list and people have been trying it. So anyways, leave your thoughts on Inya down below. If you're new and you think my content isn't horrible, please consider subscribing. I think I'm almost at 100 subs. That's crazy. I never thought people gave a damn enough. And again, thank you all for supporting my stuff, and I'll keep on creating content for you guys. I'll see you guys next time.